Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. Today we have something new to show you. Can you see that fanciness? Anyway, I got some new headlights. These are from TacomaBeast. So Mateo and I have been friends for a while now, and I actually got a pair of headlights a long time ago. So this is a TRD off-road. It's a 2016, and I had the factory daytime running light headlights, but they were all chromed out and everything. So years ago, I wanted to change them to black headlights, and there wasn't a ton of options, but the coolest ones I got, they were from TacomaBeast at the time, and I really liked the look of them. So look good. Unfortunately, performance was not that awesome. So I'll turn the daytime running lights back on. So performance of the previous lights was bad, honestly. So the daytime running lights, they looked cool, but they were not nearly as bright as I wish they were. And the LED bulbs were just these halogen, super dim bulbs. So I did a bunch of research and ordered some parts and jerry-rigged some LED bulbs to fit in the standards, but I didn't do that for the high beams. So the headlights, they worked okay. I mean, once I put the new bulbs in and experimented with a couple different bulbs to where I could get them to work well with the projectors that were there, they were okay, but they weren't great. And I didn't go through all that fuss with the high beams. So then whenever I flipped my high beams on, it was like you couldn't even see that I had high beams on. And I have a bunch of other lights, obviously, from KC, so I can go hardcore with the lights, but sometimes I just want to flip my high beams on and off nice and easy. And my previous lights sucked for that. So for a long time, I've been wanting to upgrade my headlights, something that I could get both really good looking, super bright daytime running lights and good projector LED beams so I could see the road. I live in the mountains, like you guys love to hear. So yeah, having good lighting is important to me because there's a lot of wildlife where I live or where I'm out off-roading and stuff. So being able to see those animals before I run into them is super important. So I said, Mateo, whenever you get a new set of headlights that have really bright DRLs and really good headlights, like the actual normal headlight beams, the projectors, let me know. And he said, hey Mike, I got something you're really gonna like. And those are these. So let me just kind of show you them. These are the TRD Pro style. These have 4 projectors in them. And actually when they're running, I'll turn them on here in a second. These 3 on the outside are on for kind of your daytime running. And then that inner one is your high beam. So they look really amazing. They have the full LED DRL, like the current gen TRD Pro headlights. They have the side marker, which is amber. They have this little Alpha Rex guy down below here. And I love how they look. And it's hard to tell on video, obviously, but these daytime running lights are like blindingly bright. So this is like, when I look at it, I kind of have to squint even in the daylight. So that's what I like. I wanted a very bright DRL. And here's the sequential turn signal over here. So you can see what that looks like. And again, very nice and bright going on there. And then here we have with the actual headlights on. So I'll show some driving footage here in a little bit, but I just kind of wanted to show some close-up details of these lights in action, so to speak. Let me go ahead and show you the lock-unlock sequence here. They don't look as bright, I think, is because there's a reflection going on of the sky. But here, I'll show you what the sequence is. So if you're into that thing, very kind of cool lock, unlock sequence. That'll do it if you use the door handles to lock or unlock, or if you use the key fob. And then the DRLs will stay on for, I don't know, I think probably like 15 or 30 seconds. And here's the headlight with none of the lights on. And so I wanted to upgrade to headlights that were just like functionally very powerful, but also you want them to look good. So I went for the black. Obviously my truck is very dark. I don't like chrome on anything really, but especially on my truck. So I went with the black version. You can get them in chrome as well if you want. And these aren't that cheap, honestly. They're pretty expensive, but they do have a cheaper version that doesn't have the quad projectors. So you can still get kind of the TRD Pro look without the quad projectors at a lower price point if you want. But I decided to go all out. Quality, as you expect, is excellent. Alpha X makes good headlights. And again, I got these from TacomaBeast, so I'll link them down below. Mateo, I've always given him feedback on some of this stuff, and he's always striving to make improvements, so he's doing good stuff over there at TacomaBeast. So they go nice with my blacked out taillights, which are also from TacomaBeast. Unfortunately, I don't think he's selling these ones anymore, but these were my favorite ones. So Mateo, you should bring those ones back. I don't really do install videos ever, but installing these is pretty much like any other light. It's easiest if you take your grill off. To take the grill off, unfortunately, if you have the CBI with this and probably some other bumpers, you don't have enough clearance to get the grill off. So you gotta drop the bumper, take the grill off. Now I swapped out the previous lights without taking my bumper off because I don't really like doing it. It's kind of a pain. And it was really hard. So I would recommend, if you have the same setup that I do, just drop the bumper, pull the grill. Then you'll have to pop this panel off here. So that pops off here, and then there's a bolt behind here, and then a bolt here and here. So there's 3 bolts holding the headlights in. So relatively straightforward if you've ever done it. Certainly well within the reach of pretty much any DIYer. So, and then there's a harness to connect everything. That you will need to hook up this DRL thing. I didn't clean up the wires yet, but this little guy. So I talk more about this. I actually filmed a tiny bit while I was installing, so I'll talk about that a little more. But in order to get your kind of fancy lock-unlock sequence, you do need to hook that up, even if you have the DRLs from factory. So here's the new one and the old one. I don't know if you can tell. In person, the new one is way brighter than the old one. Like, way brighter. Really hard to tell in video though, unfortunately. For whatever reason, the blinker still brighter on this one, but not as much brighter. So then here, this is the triple projector. So 1, 2, 3, that one is the high beams. So just low beams on right now. Old one was a single projector. And then here with the high beams on, you can tell the 2 different colors here because I didn't swap the LED in there. So here we are mostly, you can't take the grill off without dropping the bumper. So that's honestly, it's a huge pain. Last time I swapped my headlights, I didn't drop the bumper. And it's very difficult. It can be done, but it's very difficult. So it's actually easier to drop the bumpers so you can pull the grill and everything versus trying to do it with the bumper on. Depending on your bumper though, if you don't have one of these or if it's not tucked quite as tight as the CBI, I don't know if I said Prinsu earlier, I meant CBI, then you might be able to get the grill off with the bumper on. So dropping the bumper is kind of a pain. I hate doing it, especially when I'm by myself. So I just kind of have it setting there so I don't have to pull the cables and everything. So when you're in here, you pull the grill off. That's pretty straightforward. Then there's this and this that hold the headlights on. Pretty straightforward. A little clip here. This clip just like pops in there and pulls off. And then this piece is the kind of the biggest pain in the butt. You have to remove some stuff. I have it cut up because my bumper but there's a bolt that goes into here that holds the headlight on. So you have to pull that off, but to get this off, you have to pop this, and it kind of clips in here. Let me pull this off and I'll show you. So this piece here is a pain. I actually broke it trying to pop these clips off on the other side, but these clips here, these three, here, here, and here, those clip in to your bumper cap. So you kind of have to pry those off. That's probably the hardest, most not straightforward part of it. And I'm sure if I watched some tutorials, I could do it. Every time I have to take that off, it's basically just a giant pain and I hate it. And this is also why I don't do install videos, because I'm like most of the way done here. And honestly, I really like I really like the look of this. It's just the output was horrible. I did an LED swap on it. So you can see here's my other one. I did an LED swap on the regular, but I didn't do it on the high beam. And I didn't do it on the high beam because it's a giant pain to find the right LED, the right connector, the right adapter to make it all work. And then I kind of jerry-rigged a seal, a gasket on here, and I was always worried it was gonna leak or something. It never did, but anyways, huge pain, and the output wasn't great. It was way, 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 way better with the LED I swapped in, but still not great. And then my high beams were basically non-existent. And then the only other thing is the DRLs on these were really dim. Like in my garage, it's pretty dark right now. So I'll show you some video, and they look relatively bright in the dark, but in the daylight, you could basically not even tell they're on unless you're like looking directly at them. So these ones, the new ones, the DRLs are actually very, very bright. And then the headlights are bright. It's a quad projector, and the high beam as well as a projector, and they're all LED natively. So yeah, that's that. All right, so the only kind of tricky part is this little daytime running harness, which is this. This will come with a little tap fuse I didn't use, I cut it off, so it's connected to this gray wire. The gray wire here, I butt spliced to this red wire, which is this adapter down here. So that adapter hooks into the factory wiring harness. This little adapter with this red wire coming off is included in the kit. I butt spliced that to the gray wire. And this, and I gotta clean all this wiring up, I haven't done it yet. This will have positive and negative that can just go to the battery, and then I'll have these two guys that connect to either of the headlights. So the short wire will connect to the driver's side, the long wire I have running over and connects to the passenger side, obviously. Wire hooks up to the brown single wire coming off of the headlight. So again, I don't do install guides, but hope that helps. I'm sure customer service can help you out as well. But that's how I did it. And then that'll give you the cool kind of animation when you unlock it and lock it. So when we lock it here, we do this little sequence. So that's about it for this short little random video. I wanted to do this video because I got asked so many times about my previous headlights, whether I liked them, recommend them, whatever. And I've been very open about, I just didn't really like the output. So this was one piece of the puzzle, the Tacoma puzzle, that I wanted to finally get dialed. So these headlights can highly recommend. I didn't have to do any weird jerry rigging to get some other LED bulb to work in the housing or anything like that. These just, you open them up, you install them, and they're very, very good. So these headlights can highly recommend, finally. So if you're looking to upgrade your headlights, you can get these for the SR5, and then you'll get daytime running lights with their kit. If you have daytime running lights already, you can still have daytime running lights, but these are just super bright daytime running lights, very good nighttime headlights, and also very good high beams. So this quad projector setup looks cool, is cool. So I'm glad to finally have them. So I'm glad to finally have a pair of headlights I can recommend. Again, I'll link these down below if you're interested in picking them up. All right, so that about wraps it up. One of the final pieces of my lighting puzzle. So glad to get that dialed. Until next time, guys, take care.